Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm really excited to open this one up. I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys, is what I was about to skip over saying. So this is a knife that I found on DLT's site, and I thought, wow, this flew completely under my radar. I had no idea that they even did this variation of it. I have the titanium version of this knife, but this variation of this knife is priced significantly lower, which is cool because I don't think the price on my titanium variation was all that bad, considering these are a small batch USA company. And now that doesn't mean something to everybody, but it is something that affects the price tag greatly. The cost of creating these things and then turning them around and trying to sell them for a reasonable profit, it's more difficult, and their costs are higher. The processes are more time consuming, things are less automated. So that doesn't mean something to everybody, but there are people who go out of their way to purchase things like this, and I am one of those people, so I like this. So I thought, considering what this was, the price was pretty good. I will have this linked down in the description. You guys can check this out if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and make sure to follow me on Instagram. Make sure your notifications, you can follow me on Instagram if you want. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. I thought this would just slide out of here, but it's sealed. It's not a zip. There's no zip. I actually have to unseal it. So let's see. This is on loan from DLT Trading, by the way. So thank you to DLT Trading for loaning this to me. It will not stay with me. It will go back. Thank you for supporting our small family business. We provide a 1-year limited warranty to the original owner against defects in materials and workmanship. If you have a problem, please contact us directly at, right there, you can see michael.martin@americanbladeworks.com. So, okay, here we go. I just want to, that's very tucked in there. So, what we have here is aluminum and Magnacut with titanium hardware. So we have the flipper, we have, you can see there, it looks like a pretty good size, probably a T10, made in the USA. There are tiers to USA made stuff, right? Your lowest tier of USA made stuff is, it's production USA, but it's kind of like, you know, every country has low quality items. There are very low effort US companies, right? People have gotten on me in YouTube shorts about crapping on a few specific, very low tier USA, companies. And I say it's fair. I mean, it's great you're making something in the USA, but if you're making garbage, I'm not going to pretend that it's not garbage. It's garbage, right? I'm doing those companies a favor by not doing full reviews on their stuff. That's about as nice as I can be. Is you don't want me to review your stuff. And for those people, who have always gotten after me for saying that it's crap, well, it's crap, right? It is. So that's why I don't even mess with it. So you have those super low effort USA companies. And like I said, this is the same for every country. Every country has, low effort, made stuff. And then you have your mass produced USA stuff. Like, for example, like Spyderco, Kershaw, Benchmade, like that stuff is made, they pump that stuff out. And Kershaw does a good job with their pricing, but Spyderco, not so much, and definitely not Benchmade, right? There's some other good companies in there like Hogue and ProTech. And ProTech does some custom stuff. And then you have another tier. You have a tier up where it's small batch. There's way fewer people involved. There's much closer attention to detail because there's so much human involvement going on with each individual knife. And that's what we're looking at here. So you're not looking at something that's Kershaw, even though you can get aluminum and Magnacut from Kershaw for less, right? You're looking at something that is the same materials, but much more human involvement, much more manual process. Manual involvement has gone into creating the thing, which, again, matters to some people and not to others. Cool story, Complex. You're 5 minutes in. Can you get the blade out? My bad. You're right. Flipping action, substantially better than the one that I have that is the titanium here. I wonder what's going on with the blade. Is this intentional, these lines here? Maybe it is intentional. Is it on both sides? Yeah, it is. Okay. Maybe just a result of how they make the blades. I'm actually going to see if I can wipe that off. Let's use break free. Just going to see. Definitely have seen knives before that have like marks that are the result of like, you know, how they cut them. Right? I'm not saying that these are handmade knives. I'm saying that there are elements maybe like assembly and tuning that would, you know, that have like, that are factually labeled as manual processes, right? I think this is just the result of how the blades are cut. I can't say that I love how that looks. I think that doesn't look super duper great. But like milling lines on blades, it's not the first time I've seen that. I just would like to have seen it consistently. It's not my favorite thing in the whole world. But the flipping action is definitely much better than the one that I have. To be fair, the gentleman behind American Blade Works said, hey, send that in and I'll tune the detent for you. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I forgot to take him up on it. So, but he did offer to do that. I do like the aluminum. I like the texturing here. I think that the captive pivot looks awesome. I think you probably should have used T8 hardware. That looks like T6 to me. Let's check it. I don't want to judge it, and then it turns out to be, you know, T8. So what we have right here is a T8. And it does not fit. Just making sure. It looks like a T6 to me. This looks too big. Yeah. Would have liked to see TA right there. The lock bar insert, I believe, is steel. Let's check it. Let's make sure. The magnet is of why would it be where it's supposed to be? Yes. So we have a steel liner lock and we've got some nice aluminum, right? And then we have Magnacut, and I know that they heat treat this stuff properly. They're definitely one of those, you know, I mean, everybody should be hitting it the same now, but they are definitely one of the smaller companies that's hitting it at, I think that's 62 to 64, perhaps even 63, 64. So that's great. As far as the ergonomic line goes, the ergonomic lines go, very, very good. This is a symmetrical pocket clip. I think it would have been better to have it on both sides here. I don't really have any issue with any of this. It all feels really good. The action feels nice. I like the look of it. I love that it's made in-house USA. It's a good size, very comfortable. The only thing I don't like is the marks on the blade. And I feel like the one that I had was similar, but I think that I think that there should be a way to, you know, tumble those out, or polish them out, or whatever, you know. But I don't know that everybody's going to love those marks on the blade. And a lot of people argue and say, you know, there are plenty of knives that have machining marks left over that you think are really cool. It's not necessarily that they are machining marks. It's how they look, right? So like stepped blades and like when they leave some of those milling lines in there, like with Hog House or Rob Johnson's. I like those, but they're perfectly spaced and consistent. This almost looks like, I'm not sure. I mean, it almost looks like unintentional, right? Like it's just almost like the machine needs to have maintenance or something. So everything else is fine though, and they're clearly capable of it. I mean, the fit and finish on literally everything else is fantastic. It's very, very good. The lockup feels great. Do we have centering that's spot on? Centering looks awesome. I think that looks really good. There's no blade play up, down, left, or right, and there's no like detent lash or anything like that. So their tolerance, like their accuracy and tolerances are all very, very good. So I feel like they're plenty capable of it. If there is some purpose for this that I don't know about, I'm more than happy to be enlightened. But personally, I don't love how the blade looks. Everything else looks great. These are available for $250, and I would say, unless mine, if you own this knife, tell me, does yours have these marks on it? Because if not, maybe I just got one that was a little boogery, you know, like maybe I just got a weird one. And if that's the case, I would say yes, for $250, yes, this is absolutely worth it. But I want to know about these lines, right? I think that this would look so much more appealing without those, you know, it really does look like a goof up. So cool knife otherwise though. I think it's neat that they did an aluminum version so they can get the price down. That's going to be it from me today for the unboxing. Stay tuned. Here in a couple of weeks, we'll do the full review once I learn a little bit more about this. Links in the description for this guy and DLT stuff in general. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.